Welcome right into this explainer. Today, we're turning our attention to the beautiful, historic neighborhoods of Highland Park, Illinois, and the greater Chicago North Shore. Now, if you've ever admired these properties, you know they offer this incredibly timeless aesthetic. But today, well, we aren't looking at gorgeous crown molding or those classic hardwood floors. Instead, we're focusing on the hidden infrastructure vulnerabilities lurking right inside those charming, older homes. We're going to unpack exactly what happens when decades-old construction standards collide with our modern daily lives.
It's a question that plagues almost every single owner of a vintage property. Why does your older home have so many plumbing quirks? And the contrast here is honestly fascinating. On the outside, you've got this incredible aesthetic appeal and the solid bones of a house built decades ago. But right behind the drywall, under the subflooring, and buried out in the yard, there are invisible threats. Because as infrastructure ages, what starts out as just a tiny, unnoticeable quirk can rapidly escalate into massive leaks, extreme pressure changes, and really serious water quality concerns.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our structural blueprint for today. 1. Aging pipes and corrosion. 2. Drains, clogs, and roots. 3. Pressure swings and hard water. 4. Leaks from outdated fittings. And 5. Proactive prevention strategies.
Section 1. Aging pipes and corrosion.
As a homeowner, you usually only ever see the symptom, right? You turn on the tap and out comes rusty water, or maybe you hear these really loud, jarring, hammering noises echoing through the walls. But the mechanical reality causing all of this is completely hidden from view. Internal buildup and metal pipe corrosion are quite literally closing off your pipes from the inside out. It's restricting water flow and causing that acoustic hammering effect. You're basically hearing and seeing the direct result of metal degrading over time.
So, what should you actually be looking for? Well, beyond the rusty water and that persistent hammering, you need to pay very close attention to gradually worsening slow drains and any unexplained water staining. Look, if you see water staining on a ceiling or a wall, there's no active dripping leak anywhere to be found, it often means corrosion has advanced to the point of creating microscopic pinhole leaks right under your floors or tucked behind your walls.
Section 2. Drains, clogs, and roots.
The symptom here is just incredibly frustrating. You finally fix a clog in the bathroom sink, and suddenly, the tub backs up. But here's the thing. This is rarely an isolated blockage. The actual culprit lies in older trap configurations and narrow pipe diameters that were totally standard decades ago. As deposits just naturally accumulate over time, these narrow pathways simply can't handle the volume anymore, creating a systemic drainage nightmare across the entire property.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer battle between nature and infrastructure. Tree root intrusion happens when roots breach minor breaks or shifted joints in sewer lines near landscaped areas. We all love those beautiful, mature trees around older properties, but they are sneaky water thieves. If your aging subterranean sewer line shifts even just a little bit or has a tiny break, those roots are going to find it. They'll breach the pipe and secretly destroy your plumbing from the outside in.
Section 3. Pressure swings and hard water.
We've all dealt with the daily annoyance of sudden surges or drops in shower pressure, right? Especially when someone flushes a toilet or fires up the dishwasher. But there's no ghost in the machine causing this. It's worn shutoff valves, supply line restrictions, and aging pressure regulators. When these mechanical components wear out and fail to properly regulate flow, those sudden surges actually end up wearing out your other fixtures and connections so much faster.
In the Chicago North Shore area, including Highland Park, we absolutely have to talk about hard water. This causes scale buildup, which is basically mineral deposits that act like plumbing cholesterol. It stubbornly sticks to the inside of your pipes, your aerators, and your appliances, accelerating mineral buildup and heavily straining your entire plumbing system over time. And scale buildup goes way beyond just being a simple annoyance. It actively hits your wallet. Sure, you get reduced flow rates and that annoying recurring faucet aerator clogging, but it also tanks your water heater efficiency, and that leads directly to higher energy use just to heat that water. Hard water basically forces your entire plumbing ecosystem to work harder and way less efficiently, and ultimately it forces you to pay more to keep it all running.
Section 4. Leaks from outdated fittings. The symptom here is devastating, and frankly, very expensive. Concealed moisture, completely ruined subflooring, or drywall that just smells of mildew. You might walk into a room and feel a weird soft spot in the floor. But this massive, expensive damage is almost always caused by the absolute smallest components: worn couplings, aged washers, and deteriorated threaded connections. These outdated, tiny joint seals always fail first, creating slow, creeping leaks that remain completely invisible until the structural damage is already done. So the crucial point is that seasonal temperature changes severely aggravate these weaknesses, making proper insulation and sealing absolutely vital. In places like Illinois, the extreme shifts from those freezing winters to scorching hot summers cause older, rigid materials to constantly expand and contract. The local climate is quite literally actively working against your aging seals. If those pipes and fittings aren't properly insulated, the weather is going to drastically accelerate their failure.
Section 5, Proactive Prevention Strategies.
So, how do we move away from anxiety and toward an empowering game plan? Well, here are 4 proactive steps you can take today. Step 1, grab a flashlight and inspect your unfinished basements, crawl spaces, and right under your sinks. Step 2, actively monitor for early indicators like water discoloration or persistent slow drains. Step 3, test your shutoff valves. Trust me, you do not want to find out they're seized up in the middle of a burst pipe emergency. And step 4, if you suspect systemic issues, just schedule a pro. Early detection is always, always cheaper than emergency repairs.
Ultimately, by staying alert to these patterns, residents can address plumbing concerns sooner. You're protecting your property value, reducing water waste, and maintaining reliable water flow. I guarantee, the next time you walk through a beautifully preserved vintage home, you'll probably look at those walls in a whole new way. Because the true cost of an older home isn't just the asking price, it's what's hiding in the walls. So what secrets is your plumbing keeping from you? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.